we're starting off with a film that I'm in. George Clooney's film, The Boys in the Boat. And this tells the story of a ragtag junior team from Washington University. That's Washington State University, so over on the west side of America, and their attempts in order to get access and win their heats in order to get to the Olympic Games. Here's a clip.
They're announcing the team today. Are you going to make it?
We rode out of need.
Come on, boys!
The need to stay in school, the need to eat, to sleep.
We gotta keep these right, as long as we stay on the team.
Washington Huskies coach is bringing an inexperienced boat to competition.
They said we couldn't compete with the richest schools in the nation.
The Washington boat is taking the lead. Washington has done it!
I got 9 seconds under the course record.
Olympic year this year.
Olympic year? I didn't realize.
That bunch of kids rode like no one else that's ever come through here.
So there's rowing. There's an awful lot of rowing. Andy, you've seen this one. Do you want to kick off with comments?
Yeah, sure. I enjoyed it right from the start. I thought it had a Chariots of Fire vibe going on. It just needed the Vangelis score, really, over the scenes of the rowing. But I did think Alexandra Desplat provided a wonderful, lively, jaunty score. I need to apologise, Bob, that I missed your starring appearance. I blinked at that given moment. I was concentrating all the way through looking out for you. I'm so sorry. It's a little bit inevitable. I knew the story. If you know this, I think even if you don't know the story, you're probably going to guess where this is going. But I think given, the best films that tell true stories are those that still keep you in suspense. And I'm thinking of Apollo 13 and films like that. And this was one of those. I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was a lovely, pleasant way to spend a couple of hours at the cinema, telling a really good story. It was nice to see the Führer being hissed off at the end. And I thought that everything about it just looked good, sounded good. It was well acted. Joel Egerton, particularly good. Callum Turner, I thought was good. I thought Hadley Robinson was very good as well. So overall, an enjoyable experience with a Chariots of Fire vibe, Chariots of Fire on water. Very entertaining, very nicely done. Nice period piece. Yeah.
You've seen this as well, I think.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for anything that's got sports in it. I think I prefer to watch it than participate, so that might have something to do with it.
Amen to that. But
I was enthralled. Sometimes you get these unlimited screens. You're like, I feel like I'm going to doze off. It sounds a little bit wishy-washy, but I was glued to the screen all the way through. I did spot you.
Yes.
My friend thought I was insane when I'm going, it's Bob!
It's not Bob!
She's like, where? I was like, you missed it. It's fine. It's gone.
Missed it.
Carry on.
Gone. Yeah.
But, I was just on board with it all. As you say, very well acted. I love Joel Edgerton anyway. Think he's very good. And Callum Turner, like you say, the chemistry with everyone on screen was just fantastic. And I found all the sort of boat races, from when you get into the last third of the film, just everything was adrenaline. And I thought they made it really, engage with the audience. And there were so many, great points at that. And I was a bit sad there weren't more people in the screen. But everyone was enthralled. Yeah. So, really enjoyed that.
Okay. Scott, did you see this one or not?
Unfortunately, I didn't manage to see this one this week, but I'll try it
Dan,
weekend.
You didn't either. So,
I'm afraid not. I'm sorry.
So you'll have to watch out for me when you do see it. All right. I'm about 90 minutes in. I'm wearing a white lab coat, and I'm giving $1 of donation to... what's his name? Tom Very, who's the actor who's playing one of the team collecting it. So, but that was my starring moment. I must be on screen for maybe 3 or 4 seconds. So, lots of time to catch me. But
no excuse.
Yeah. No, I thought it was really nice film. I think it's one of those films where when people say they don't make films like that anymore, well, they do, and this is kind of it. One that I think particularly the older sort of population are going to enjoy going to see. I think it's going to do very good business at the box office as a result of that. I mean, if I'm being critical about my own films, I think some of the dialogue was a little bit naff. There's one scene in particular where Ulrichsen, the coach, played by Joel Egerton, is sitting on his porch staring glumly across the river, saying, "I'm not sure I like the view anymore." And then his scantily clad wife kind of comes out the door and says, I can show you a view that you will like," and kind of drops her nightie out the door and goes, and think, "Oh, no, please, please, no."
Matron.
Oh, matron. Exactly. Yeah. And then stuff ensues, just like in Poor Things. Yeah.
I'm going to say, she'd wandered off the set of Poor Things, obviously.
Yeah, you wandered off the set of Poor Things into this film, yeah. We'll talk about Poor Things in a minute. So there was a bit like that. And I thought the story, I mean, if you're after a thrill-seeking story, it was very predictable and linear, as you were saying, Andy. About the biggest amount of tension was due to a stomach upset, and that's kind of as intense as the plot got. Yeah. So I thought it was very good. I mean, the production design I thought was superb, and having been on the set and seen it personally, it was extraordinary. Like I was a Photoshop owner in this thing. And this set was built in a quarry north of Swindon, the whole New York set, or city set. I'm not sure it was New York, actually. And the whole of my Photoshop inside was beautiful. It had dozens and dozens of 1930s cameras on the shelf and photo accessories. The whole shop was just done out beautifully. And you don't see any of that, right? All you see is me in the doorway giving the guy $1. Yet they'd done the whole of that. Presumably, they kind of built this city in the middle of this quarry in case they needed to use it for any other shots when Gorgeous George came along and said, "Oh, I think we ought to have this $1 handed over inside the Photoshop or whatever." But the attention to detail of that sort of thing is wonderful. So that was good. And I actually got to rehearse that scene with George Clooney, which is kind of my claim to fame, like when the guy is shaking my hand and saying, "Thank you for your $1." I did that with George Clooney. George Clooney was shaking my hand saying, thank you, Dr. Bob, for Flickering Dreams." No, he didn't say that, but he might have done. So it was a great experience. Absolutely loved it. Scores on the doors for the boys in the boat then. Emma, let's start with you.
I gave it a 4. A 4 out of 5. I'm thinking letterbox. Just shoot me. Yeah, it's 4, Bob. There's just one performance in it that I really didn't like. No, it's an 8.
It would have been a 9 or a 10, if only. Yeah, okay. An 8, right. Andy?
It would have been a 9 had I caught you, Bob. I'm giving it an 8.
And I'm giving it an 8 as well. So that's straight across the board, easy maths. A Flickering Dreams score of 8 out of 10 for George Clooney's The Boys in the Boat, which makes it a Chariots of Fire splashy hit. Okay, good stuff.